Hi guys, welcome to Unit 2, Lesson 7. We're also going to talk about Lesson 8 because they go together. So between today and tomorrow, it's actually a 2-day lesson, okay? So, which is kind of nice. So we're going to do something different. We didn't do this last semester, but that's okay, right? It's always good to try new stuff. So we are going to do a discussion, all right? And with that, you have a discussion prompt that you are going to need to answer. And then you're also going to have to respond to people's prompts, all right? So I'm going to talk about what is expected of you, right? That way you know exactly what you need to do. So first off, right now, I have Unit 2, Lesson 7 open. The first part, like this first page, you're just going to read through it, okay? You're going to read through it, all right? Preparing for the discussion talks about being polite, being respectful, things like that, right? This is not about bullying people for anything. This is not about being rude, being better than anybody else, right? This is about practice, not only within the math and what we need to do with that, but also just practice with communication skills online, okay? And that's a big deal too. If you ever plan on taking any online classes, like at the college level, I did my entire master's degree online, and discussions were a huge part of my weekly assignments. So getting practice for things like that too, this is good for that. So here at the bottom of page 1, there's discussion guidelines and the rubric. I encourage you to read through that. That way you know how you're going to be graded. Then you're going to come to page 2. And this right here is the most important part. These two like blurbs. Okay? So in your journal, which I know you probably don't really have a journal. That's okay. Don't freak out. Okay? It talks about like writing an inequality and solving it, right? We've done a lot of practice with that over the last few lessons. Maybe not writing your own inequality from scratch, but still working on them and solving, right? So for this, in your first post, share your inequality and solution with your peers. So you're going to need to write an inequality like the ones that we've worked with. Maybe it's 2x plus 8 is less than or equal to 17. I just made that up off the top of my head. You're going to write something along those lines. Okay, so you're going to write an inequality, then you're going to solve it. So you're going to find your solution, just like we've been practicing over the last few lessons. Then you're going to ask your peers if they can come up with a real-world problem that could be solved using your inequality. That's your post, okay? That's your post. Then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go look at other people's posts and see which inequalities did they write, and from that, what kind of problem can I come up with that would be represented by that inequality, okay? So you're writing your own inequality, you're solving it, and then you're going into other people's posts and writing problems that could go along with theirs. Okay? So in the last 2 lessons, we practiced a lot of like looking at word problems, and you were given some pretty good examples. And on this first page, it talks about like where inequalities pop up the most. Keep those things in mind too, right? Problems involving money, problems involving an object with a weight limit, okay? So things like that are going to become important. After you have that written, you're going to go to lesson 8. So the next day on your planner, you're going to go to lesson 8, and this is where you're going to do all of this stuff that I just talked about. So again, read through this. It tells you what you're going to do, and then you're going to click on this link here at the bottom. Real world inequality problems discussion. You're going to click on that, and I just realized that the way I'm sharing my screen, it's not going to pop up. Hold on one second. Let me stop sharing, and then I will reshare. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is what's going to pop up. Right now, there's nothing there because we're not at this yet when I'm recording. But what you're going to do is you click on this green plus sign, okay? When you do, you're going to write a title. So you could write inequality example, right? Or you could, whatever you want to write. So I'll just write that. And then you would type everything in. You've got all these tools that you can use. And then on your keyboard, there's also like the greater than or less than symbols, so make sure you find those. Okay? And then you would you'd hit start conversation. Okay? So I'm going to cancel mine because I'm not writing one right now. I mean, I guess I could, just to kind of give you a better idea. Let's see, let's do 4x plus 10 is greater than 26. Okay? Then I would solve it. Then I would, let's see, I'm going to attempt to show my work. Oh my goodness, this might be really hard. I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. Then that means my next step, I would have 4x is greater than 16. And then I would divide both sides by 4, giving me 4 is greater than 4. So what that tells me is I could plug anything in there greater than 4 and have it be true. Then I would hit start conversation. Okay, then I would go look for other people's inequalities, and based off of this, what kind of problem could I write? All right, so you have to respond to at least 2 people's posts in order to receive full credit. Okay, so I hope this helps, and if you need support, let me know. Okay, again, this is a 2-day lesson, so you got plenty of time. All right, take your time and make sure to use your own brain. Don't go searching for answers other places. Okay?